morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Ramin, we can hear you fine. How are you?
That is wonderful, perfect. Actually, wow, full of snow, perfect. Uh, I I have to get my own. Actually, it was funny. I'm going to share with it a little bit later. I have to read my own forensic chapter because as I was trying to do this note just a few minutes ago, I was laughing, talking to myself. I said, "You should follow your own forensic advice." We'll get to that a little bit later.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Okay. We have, oh my God, I have so many people here. As you jump on, as always, before we get started, let us know where you are in the world. Okay, maybe says, good evening, Sir Ramin. It's awesome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we. That is Rebecca Robinson here in Ottawa. We just finished our
Rebecca
meeting.
who? Never heard of her.
She says R2 lifestyle. That's.
I think she came with the furniture at your office. Rebecca's been there for a long time.
Yeah, he says you came with the furniture.
I'm better looking than the furniture, though.
Well, I agree there. I agree for sure.
This is awesome. We have Amarjeet. Welcome, my dear, from Singapore. We have Maria Baptiste. Good evening to you, my dear, from Toronto, Canada. This is awesome. We have a full house. We have Lori Brooms from Brantford, Ontario. Welcome, my dear. Welcome. This is awesome. So I think we're right on time. So we're going to go right into it because we want to make sure we make very good use of this hour. Every week it ends before we even get to, where we're just getting warmed up. So we're going to get, so we're going to get right. Sorry, Ramin.
Let's get started.
Awesome. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's your Ifrah Hassan, your host from Ottawa, Canada. I want to welcome you all to another phenomenal forensic night. This is by far, all our webinars are amazing, but this is by far the one that makes me itch every time in my head because the information that we get is phenomenal. I have my book, my pen ready, and I hope that you all are as well. Even though our webinars are recorded, to be honest with you, it's not the same feeling as when you're here live. So definitely you want to make sure that you pay attention. So the gentleman that you're going to hear from really doesn't need any, introduction, but I have to do my due diligence here. Is none other than Ramin Mazgarlu, aka the Forensic Networker. He's the founder and CEO of Opulence Global and the visionary behind the Opulence philosophy. Ramin spent 30 years in direct sales and built 4 multi-million-dollar businesses as a master distributor before launching his very own company right here in his home basement here in Ottawa back in 2005. Now, over the past 15 years, Ramin's company, now Opulence Global, has been the most decorated company in direct sales industry with scores of media and trade accolades and awards, including front cover feature of the American Business Journal with Warren Buffett. He is the only Canadian CEO ever featured, which is very phenomenal. He is also the Luxury Designer of the Year award winner by Viva International, first class inductee into the Network Marketing Hall of Fame, Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year nominee, and dozens more. Ramin is also recognized as the world's foremost expert in MLM composition plans, as well as voted in the top 2 network marketer of all time by businessforhome.org. Now, personally, what I admire about our CEO, and I know so many of you would agree with me, and I saw this firsthand when I actually was in the UK. I remember after our tour, he was standing there going through our compensation plan while I was tired and I couldn't wait to get a seat. So what I admire about him is the fact that despite his massive success, how he continues to be a soldier and works with us shoulder to shoulder each and every single day, which is why he is the forensic networker and will always be the forensic networker. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our guest of honor for tonight, Mr. Ramin Mazgarlu. Take it away.
Wow, wow, Ephra, telling you, you wrote it exactly where I wrote it for you. I wrote it for you. So that's awesome. You know what? When people talk about my past a little bit, the only thing I think about is that, damn, you know what? There's nothing special about me. I was a 20-year-old young athlete with a white shirt and red stains all over it, pizza sauce, when I got started in 1990. You know, so I was rough around the edges. I wasn't sharp like some of my uplines, and they were in the real estate, commercial real estate, and polished. I had to learn the hard way, and I'm still not polished. I'm still rough, but I do understand the industry very well, as well as better than anyone else. So, uh, interestingly, see, my hair's a bit of a mess. I had just got here from Ottawa. There was a lot of snow here to see. So luckily, we have the right vehicles to get through it. So I got this massive driveway. So, and I said, I'm going to clean this up a little bit before the call. I, I got this dinky little snow snowblower that I had from my old house. I still got it. So I'm struggling pushing this thing. I'm thinking to myself, is what I always tell the network marketers. So you get into network marketing, you get into Opulence Global, we put you in a Ferrari. If you're gonna drive it the way you do your job, it's not gonna get you anywhere. You gotta take the opportunity and run with it. You got the vehicle, you gotta drive it. So I'm sitting over here, I'm pushing this little dinky little thing, and then as I look back, there is a mighty four-wheeler that which I bought last year that's designed for this. So I'm thinking to myself, why am I doing this? All I need is a little plow on the four-wheeler, and within 10 minutes, the whole thing is done. And here I am, just trying to push this thing. But isn't that how network marketers are? Like, you get into network marketing, you've got this unbelievable opportunity to get you where you want to go so much faster, and we just sit on it. So you should be thinking, if you're not building an MLM business, you should be feeling as silly as I am right now, because I'm all, I'm all tired and wet and everything else. Here I am pushing this little thing. I got the 600cc four-wheeler Honda, brand new, sitting over there, that's ready just to plow through this whole thing. But that's what we do as human beings sometimes. Not sometimes, a lot of times. We do not utilize the potential for business, the vehicles, the tools that we have. And so we struggle through life. Everybody in Opulence Global has the same opportunities, the same product, the same comp plan for everybody, right? So you don't get a different comp plan if you're a woman, and if you get a man, or you don't get a different comp plan or products if you happen to be sitting white or black, or you don't. Everybody gets the same thing. So the only thing that makes a difference is one word: input. Right? Input the forensic terminology for the effort that you put in. All right, so what do we want to talk about today? I want to talk about, remember a couple of weeks ago, I wrote this thing, 37 mistakes network marketers make. I think we made it to number 2. The first one was attacking yourself. I can't do this, I'm different than those guys, and all that nonsense, right? So I said, okay, stop attacking yourself. Whatever adversity you're going through, it's not unique to you. Everybody goes through it. It's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. That's how life works. We all get hit. So it's not matter if you're gonna get hit or not, everybody gets hit. It's how you react to it. Some people, when they get knocked down, they stay down there. Some people get knocked down, they get back up and fight again. Some people will evolve and get better, and some people don't evolve. So it's not what happens to you. It's not unique to you. It happens to everybody. It's how you react to it. That's number 1. Number 2, refuse to evolve and still want to succeed. So I would say the audacity you got to have to say, I don't want to change anything. I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to evolve. I want to make 10,000 a month or 5,000, whatever it is you want to make. I don't care if you want to make extra $500 a month. You got to evolve a little bit to get that. There are people who don't. So those are two things that we talked about on that call. Let's go to number 3. Mistake number 3 that network marketers make, and especially the so-called veterans. This is not a new distributor issue. They're too excited for this. It's usually veterans. It's usually supposed to be the leaders. And I don't use that word too liberally, as you know. It's a negativity. There are people that are constantly negative. It's like everything is Armageddon. It doesn't matter how good everything is. They're always looking for something to complain about. You know, they beat up their downline, they beat up their upline, they talk negative about everybody, including the company, the management, their products, and yet they're here. Yet they're here. So this is just a bad habit. You know, it's just bad habit. I can tell you, this is mostly people who've been in MLM a long time. They perceive themselves to be leaders. Whether they are or not, we don't know. It all depends on who they are and what they're doing. But you know, sometimes they've made money in the past, sometimes they haven't. But let me tell you, that's relevant. Income in MLM is respectable, but it doesn't make, it is not a proof that somebody understands MLM. You know, I know a lot of people, a lot of my own students made millions and they've done it once. And they could never do it again. So that means they never understood it. You know, and I categorize the top 1% millionaires of MLM into 3 different categories in forensics. So, you know, that's a different chapter. So when you get, you know, I do not understand, you know, first of all, there's an old policy that, you know, I follow. And that's nothing positive, just don't say anything at all about anybody. That's a good practice overall in life, right? But okay, if you happen to have bad habits and you have to vent and you're a dramatic person, you're a drama queen or drama king, or you're just that way, well, the basic rule of MLM, that's MLM 101's negatives up, positives down. So I don't understand how it helps to go down and start venting to your downline, to your sideline, to whoever about whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, the only explanation I have for people like that, because we get them everywhere, it's not just in MLM, right? I mean, you have family members, they're always negative, right? They always, they talk about everything. So the only explanation I have is that these people, there's just some bad habits, they just need to vent, you know, but at least follow the basic rule, vent up, not down, you know? And then there are some people who, it's more important to them, like their way of gratification. So for most of us, the way of gratification is money, right? We want to go earn money. That's why we get into business. Why do you get into business? Because you want to make money. And there are some people that I guess, if they can't get that because they don't have the skills or whatever it's not, they want to get it some other way. And usually that is, you know, information, whether it's legit or made up or whatever, usually that's negative. They need attention. They want to be the center of the world, center of the universe. If they can't do it with their check and they do it with their talking about this person, that distributor, that offline, that leader, you know, the company, that product, that's what they do. And I don't understand how that helps. One of the things I always do in life is that before I do something that's negative, it doesn't matter how angry I am. Now, remember, I'm a world champion wrestler. I mean, I have a, you know, trust me, you don't want to see me angry. But one thing I learned as I got older was that I asked myself, okay, how does that help? Those are good questions. So if you're about to do something negative or angry, ask that question. If I was to do what I was just thinking, how does that help? And you know what? Not 99% of the time, 100% of the time, you're going to say it doesn't help. Then you just don't press send. Just don't make that call. Disappear for 24 hours. In business, there's a thing called the 24-hour rule. Sometimes you get an email, you get angry, you just want to respond right away. Write a response, don't press send for another 24 hours. Read it 24 hours from now, I can guarantee you'll make a whole bunch of changes. Because when emotions get involved, I mean, not logic moves out, right? When the emotions move in, logic moves out. And that could be good and bad. When you show somebody the business, right? You show an opportunity, the product, the emotions goes up. There's no logic there. They're excited about the results, the money. Boom. If you know how to ask for the sale, you got the sale. And then a couple of days later, logic sets in. Same happens in bad situations, not only emotions, right? So emotion is a Greek word, it's an energy in motion. So if you're angry, it's negative energy. Ask yourself a question, how does that help? All that's going to do will be negative is that people will reject you, people will isolate you, you'll get around to whoever it is you're talking about. You're not making any friends. If you're not making any friends, then how does that help? So I know some of you guys that have bad habits. Trust me, I had this talk, some of our own family members. I said, listen, do you always have to talk about something? And it's never positive, right? I call them sunblocks. in forensic networker. See, I have no time. You know, I explained this concept that, look, you don't understand that every day that goes by, God gave you a cup of energy and a cup of time. So just like a, just like, money, if you got a cup of energy and a cup of time, you can invest it into things that's going to help you through the day and towards your targets, or you can just waste it. See, it's the same cup. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once the day is gone, you can't get it back. So you got to ask yourself, I talked about in forensic, at the end of the night, take a personal inventory. When you're going to brush your teeth, and that's important, and lucky for you, we got the best toothpaste in the world. So you got to ask yourself a question. Or when you hit this, well, maybe you shouldn't do this before you go to sleep because it might keep you up at night if you had a bad day. The point is you got to take a personal inventory, and that is, if everybody in my team did what I did today, what type of business would I have? I'll let you think about that for about a few seconds. If everybody in my team did what I did today, the actions, the activities, the input towards my targets, promise list, business, what type of business will I have? So if the answer is not good, you got to look and say, okay, I got to make some changes. So this idea that I can't get any attention because I'm not the top earner, I'm not rank advancing, so I'll get my attention by coming up with some new news, whether it's true or made up or whatever. 90% of the time it's negative because that's the only way you think you can get people's attention. Look, the issue also is with society because we're attracted to negativity. I mean, the news, right, is constantly negative, right? So there's a reason for that because they know that's what people want to watch. See, I've, the successful people, I learned from the successful people. They won't give it any time for negativity. But that's why you got 1% of the population control 96% of the money. When you talk about the top billionaires, they don't watch CNN. All right. They talk about business networks. They got their own little thing that they don't want to be contaminated. I mean, Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, and I was watching one of his videos, and it's incredible how disciplined all these people are of controlling what's getting in here. So when someone comes to you with negativity, I'm just not interested. Because the question that you have to ask, how does that help? The 4 questions. See, we got this much cup of energy and this much cup of time to go and get every day to go put towards our targets and promise lists, the stuff that we actually want in our life. Some people spend all their cup and all their energy into nonsense, non-income generating activities. So when somebody demands your time on nonsense, here's my response. You always got someone that always wants your time. It's a good thing they want your time unless they're calling to complain. So here's my response. When I was on the field building, teams over 100,000 people. I mean, you got to be this way, right? Somebody calls, complaining. Here's my response. Jack, did you call to complain or do you need help with something? Because if you call to complain, I'm not interested. If you need help with something, what is it? Cut it up. Why do I need to know what does complain do? And here's another thing, but you're going to talk about these 37 things I wrote down is that, well, just don't complain, make recommendations. Nobody cares about complaints. Nobody, you're not going to make any friends criticizing people. But people are always open for recommendation. We're open to recommendation. We get it every day from you guys. You make a complaint and you go criticize, you know what? You probably won't get the reaction that you want. Well, after all, we're all human beings. You use your upline, he won't pay attention to you. Your sideline, if you become flagged as the bolt of negativity, you get isolated quick. As a downline, same thing. If you become one of those problem customers that everything is Armageddon, the upline, you know what? They're human beings too. They go work with more positive people. We don't need to be around complainers. So number 3, negativity. Nobody's interested in that. Did you call to complain or you need help with something? Okay, let's talk about what I can help you with. Once you start that culture of zero tolerance, and you're going to see the whole culture and your whole team changes. Now, if somebody has a legitimate concern, right? No problem. Still kill it the way I just told you to do it. Then you bring it upstairs to your upline and say, hey, listen, can we talk about this? Don't criticize. Recommend. This is the best advice I can give you about life, not just MLM. Because you criticize somebody, you're going to get it back. You make a recommendation, they're going to say thank you. Be smart about things. There's a book, one of the 2 books I always recommend. One of them was, of course, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but the other one is How to Win Friends and Influence Others. You need it. Trust me, I needed it badly. I still probably need it, but that is how you can get people, how to influence people, and how to make friends and influence others by Dale Carnegie. Get that book. If you don't like to read, tape series, CD series. You can actually probably go and get through, online, download it. So ebook. That is something that will, you can get the same result, much better result doing the same, better result things that you want. All right, number 4. Mistake number 4 that the distributors, especially leaders, make. Oh, I gotta tell you, me and Renee Leo have had this conversation. Me and Reza have had this conversation. And that is, we cannot be selective with products. People will perceive the business and the products through you. You start showing interest one product over others, whether it's because it got higher CV or whatever the reason is. The minute your people start shortening their product line, the shorter the product line is, usage is in your organization, the weaker is your organization. You want a vast variety. So one of the things that made us very strong when we were only fashion, where every other MLM company, if they have a bad product issue, man, the company goes, I've been through those companies where, they have like 25 products where one is all the sales and something happens to a product and our check will go, whoop. That's not what MLM is supposed to be. See, when we had our fashion, we had like 1,000 SKUs, something goes out of stock or something was bad, nobody noticed because there is 990 other SKUs. See, everybody was looking at the fashion line, not a product. And that's what you want. Now we have fashion, health, and beauty, personal care line. You focus on one product, I'm telling you, your business is in trouble. We're a story. Here's one reason. There's many reasons. Here's one reason. We're a story-driven industry. And yeah, say for example, let's take the fountain of life because it just takes the oxygen out of the room, right? Thank God it's changing because I know people are now stuck to toothpaste and now captives going off. Our fashion has always been good. But for a while, the fountain of life was the only conversation. Rightfully so. I mean, every market it touched, it was a miracle. Having said that, from a business perspective, it's never good when your business is on one product. Here's one reason. Every MLM company has some type of nutritional product. Everybody's got a juice somewhere. And nobody says we got the second best juice in the world. Nobody. Everyone's got the best juice in the world. So now here now you're going after prospects. And then because of storage and industry, nobody's got a lab at home. Like we come up with a science-based 300 slides and we got a scientist and we share with you that data because it's a real scientifically based product and we show it to you. And some stuff we show we're never supposed to show. But every other company that mix up some herbs is herbology, right? It's not science-based, it's like homeopathy. And yet it's the best thing in the world. Now you've got a conflict for your prospects because what you said, if you focus on one product, what happens is all of a sudden there's many companies who have that one product. It might not be the same, but they say it is. Well, you come across with, here's a line of the products that we have. And where this becomes really, really important is that once you have, this is number two things you got to remember. Once your people come in, say for FOL, they buy a family pack, they're not selling a lot, but they're using it. All of a sudden next month comes and they have enough. Guess what? They get off the smart buy. Well, we're in a business of residual income. We're not in a business of, whatever. You want people to be using all the products all the time. So when you promote everything, we call the safe home package, right? All of a sudden, this month, if they don't need any FOL, they go buy toothpaste, buy Captive, they buy Fashion Line, they buy shopping credits. It's imperative that you don't make this mistake and promote only one product. Now, if you want to talk about a particular product on tour night, that's fine. It's the main presentation, whatever. I mean, you talk about everything, but you want to emphasize more on one or two. That's fine. That's fine. But once the person is in, if your team culture is only ordering just one or two products, you're in trouble. Because these are the first people that get off their monthly smart buy. And now you're on a treadmill to nowhere because all of a sudden, I have enough products right now and I don't need it. I can't sell any. So, yeah, I'll order when I need it. You don't need, but again, they perceive that business, that mindset through you. You've seen my videos, and my videos last 13 or 14 years hasn't changed. Every time I get a furry piece, I'm like, I'm excited. Look at my booth. Look at my, I'm just tickled by our fashion line. It's the most incredible line in the world. But if you've never experienced it, then you don't know. And what you're missing here is this. How we built for the first 12 years is people approached you because you were wearing something that they liked. Hey, who are you wearing? What is that? Who's that watch? Who's that shoes? Who's that purse? Who's that jewelry? Who's that necklace? So our biggest testimonial every week in the meeting was people said, oh, actually, I didn't approach him. They approached me. People were saying, oh, I sold my watch off my hand. So we built fashion because it's visual, right? People see it. Oh, beautiful shoes, beautiful bag. And you match them up. Like we get dressed anyway. See, every single one of you'll get dressed every single day when you wake up. But I have a question for you. Whatever you put on, did you get paid for wearing it? Think about that for a minute. So what was our slogan in fashion? Get paid to wear. Get paid. Hey, what do you guys do? What do you do for a living? I get paid to wear a fashion line. Oh, what? You get paid, what? See, this is it. When you make a recommendation, so on all of you guys, especially ladies, you're going to get the people say, oh, hey, nice purse or a nice dress or nice shoes, or, and where'd you get it? Oh, I got it here, I got it there. And when these people go to that boutique and buy it, you get a check. No, this is what was so special about Opulence Global when we were only fashion, because people constantly got approached by the customer and, hey, I could get one for you from my mall. Oh, here's my car. Check out my mall. Check out my shop. We used to call it the e-mall at the time, right? The toothpaste, Captive. That product is absolutely insane. I don't know if I used to get itchy scalp sometime, and ever since I've been on this, that stopped. No more dry skin and scalp. So at the end of the day, we got products that every single one of your people should be using. Well, here's another thing that's gonna make you feel so silly a little bit. If you're not using our shampoo, what are you using? What are you using? Doesn't make any sense. You go to a store, you buy someone else's shampoo, which is far inferior. Someone else makes money, a shop, a wholesaler, and manufacturer. Someone else makes money. Not only you can't promote because you don't make money on it, you're paying for that. And yet when you buy our own shampoo, not only you get the best product in the world, it helps you qualify, you can talk about it, you get excited about it, it provides PV, provides CV, and it is something that you can promote. When people buy it, you get paid. So before it was to get paid to wear. Now it's get paid to wear, get paid to wash, get paid to brush, get paid to. So this stuff is so basic. Honestly, I don't even know why I should talk about it. And this is why I wrote in the Forensic Network years ago, and that still holds true today, which is 99.6% of the workforce is uneducated and unskilled in MLM. Yet this industry is still growing. The mistakes that I'm talking about, they're so basic. It's so basic. It's like you going outside buying someone else's toothpaste and shampoo. It's like you having a pizza shop and order a pizza from another pizza shop. Think about it. You have a pizza parlor, but you order pizza from someone else to eat. Does that make any sense to you? That's what I'm saying. This stuff is so basic. I shouldn't have to teach this stuff. Be a product of the product. Use it. When you use it, that will duplicate. Again, basic stuff. MLM is about duplication. The upside to our business is what you do will duplicate because people will perceive the business through you. The downside to our business is your people will do what you do. Think about that for a minute. If you're only talking about one product, they will duplicate that. And then when they have enough for that one product, they get off their smart buy. Now where's your residual income? So don't choose promote everything. You can always show passion about a few of them because you've had personal experience. That's normal. But don't disrespect the rest of the lineup because if you do it, they will do the same. Just because you're trying to focus on one thing, you're completely disrespecting everything else. Not only it's not good for your team, it's just not good for anything. So I just wanted to reiterate. So mistake number 4 is being selective on product usage and sales. Number 5, you don't invest into information. In our business, we call it links and prints. We spend a ton of money every single day. We have a graphic team, we have an IT team, we have a media team. We create brochures, print material. We got all kinds of social media stuff, posts, we got videos, we got all kinds of stuff. And yet you don't invest in it. Invest doesn't mean necessarily money because some of this, much of the stuff is free. For example, I put a video out there for last week. And last week we had a bit about how to get your team into momentum. So basically said, if your team either has momentum or it doesn't. So I mean, everybody on this call, you're here for a reason, to make money. You get money, you need a momentum. So I put out that video yesterday on different chat groups. I went today, it's got 40 more views on it than I did. Like I'm thinking, okay, how's that possible? If someone puts something in a group and says your team momentum, and I'm in the business of making money, and I don't have momentum, the very first thing I do is say, well, I'm driving, put your Bluetooth on. You don't have to watch me talk, you just have to listen. And then, while at work, put your headset on and listen. So again, you gotta invest time into links and prints. And some things you got to buy, like the brochures or lookbooks or whatever. It's not a lot of expense, banners, but you got to invest into links and prints. Somebody says, yeah, I just invested $1,400 into a $1,500 in the LA package. I don't want to go spend more money. Said, Jack Wagon, you need to spend an extra $100 to protect the $1,500. How are you going to build a business without tools? Are you that credible that people will look at you and they're going to say, oh, you're the be all end all, I'm in? I can tell you, I wasn't like that. And I don't think too many people like that. People want to see how professional is the company before they invest in it. Even if something as simple as products, people are going to say, if you don't have brochures, if you don't have the links, if you don't have those things, you're not going to sell any FOL or toothpaste or captive. You need to know where those things are, watch it thoroughly, take some notes, you can explain it properly, have it readily ready. The minute somebody says, oh, what is that? Send them a link. I run into this thing at least once every couple of days. Somebody says, what do you do? Here's what I do. Oh, tell me more about it. I'll send you a couple of links. I can talk about this. I don't. You know why? Because Ramin doesn't duplicate. Systems duplicate. He's not going to remember anything I tell him anyways. Besides, I want him to have the links so I can refer back to. He can pass it to a couple of friends. You need to utilize the tools because at the end of the day, if he gets excited, and sometimes they do, He's going to say, okay, Ramin, you need to teach me, or you need to talk to my friends. And no, I don't. I'm there, but here's the links. There is a company in India, and they're trying to build a connection with me and all that stuff. So the CEO of the company says, can you tell me about it? I said, you know what? He's the CEO of the company. He said, can you tell me more about it? I said, oh, I can give you a quick 60-second overview, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you a few links and you just watch it. Every question he asked, I said, it's in the link. This is the CEO of the company. Every question he asked, I said, it's in the link. He followed up. He says, can we have a conversation? I said, did you watch the link? He said, not yet. I said, watch the link. We'll have a conversation. So again, because I know how I start him, that becomes a culture for him. I want it to be a culture of links and prints, not a culture of call Ramin. That doesn't duplicate. So links and prints. I did a new chapter called Awakening, and basically I give you the 100%. Now I put that part of the new training that we have, which is called the first 30 days, right? So it's a guaranteed MO for success or guaranteed MO for failure. And links and prints is part of that. It's incredible because once you go through the chapter, you start to think within 5 seconds, you don't need a lot of time. Within 5 seconds, and that's okay. Here's a success MO for success MO, like method of operation. And here's a 100% failure MO. You got 10 seconds to decide where you're at. You don't need more than 10 seconds. Right away, you know where you're at. And you got the answers on both. How to not be in a failure MO, how to be, look, this stuff is not, it's not complicated. Jim Rohn, half a dozen things make 80% of the difference. What time is it? 9:36. Okay. Hey, we're doing better than the first time. First time, we went through 2. We're sitting right now at number 5. So we've done better than last time. All right. Let's look at mistake number 6. Out of control ego. Okay, this is one of those things that I don't understand. You see people argue all the time with their team. Both sides, downline and upline. Again, the stuff I'm talking about in general MLM, I've done this for 30 years. So it not necessarily means stuff that happens in opulence. We have some of it, but it just happens in MLM, right? And you got people arguing back and forth, and I just don't understand, especially when the upline argues with the downline, where the downline is making the money, and I don't understand how that helps. Those 4 words, right? How does that help, right? I don't get it. And there's only one answer for that. It's ego. It's just one answer. One of the things that you learned years ago, I think it was Harv Eker that said it, but it wasn't him, but and I know other people before that. But, and you want to write this one down. I want you to write in the chat group over here. You're either rich or right. Think about that one. You're either rich or right. I know you need to win that argument. You got to win that argument, but how does that help? I can tell you, nobody wants to lose an argument. No one wants to lose it. So even if you win, you lost anyway. So I never forgot that. There are times I just need to fix somebody up, right? You just, because they're so out of line. And then I ask myself, okay, how does that help? You're either rich or right. Now, if you're an upline, sometimes, you know, you have a problem customer, we only be distributed. I get that. And sometimes we got to deal with that, and we deal with it. But I see this ongoing things on silly things. And I just don't understand. You got this cup of energy that you do and your team has, and you're blowing it on arguments, not IGA, income generating activity. How does that help? So write down the chat group for me. You're either rich or right. So next time you want to argue with someone, especially in your team, ask yourself that. The person, I should be inspiring them to use this cup of energy into sales so I can get CV out of this. How does that help? You're either rich or right. You have to decide that on every discussion, on every argument. You could use it at home, you use it in your personal life. You're either rich or right. So Unless it's absolutely imperative. Someone's doing something destructive to hurt your team or whatever. Just calm the situation down. Calm the situation. Look, and MLM would deal with people. Some of the MLMers, I'm telling you, you think they're narcissists, and I think they are. You're gonna run into some narcissists in our industry too. They are. So, but it doesn't help engaging in that, because if they love engaging. So if they engage, you engage back. How does that help? I want them to go put their time and money, put their time and energy into CV generation, not. So don't get engaged into arguments. Don't have too much ego for your team. And here's another thing. Leaders, you got to earn your respect. You don't get it from a pin. You don't even get it from a check. The first part of, I wrote a whole chapter on this, the first part of leadership is caring for your people. So this ego thing, put it away. Ego could be good, could be bad. So I always say ego can make you or break you. I've seen distributors at 200,000 a month destroyed their career because of ego. They left the company because of ego. They're making $200,000 a month. I mean, what possible reason can you come up with to walk away from a check like that after years and years? One thing, only one thing can do that: ego. To a point that you got mad at the CEO of the company, okay, well, I made you, I'm gonna break you, I'm gonna make a deal, take a deal, left. 3 companies later, he's bankrupt and broke. The company's still going 30 years later. So get your ego in check. Nobody respects ego. Nobody respects that. I can tell you, nobody respects that. You can tell people how great you are. You're a supreme middle commander, human being. People will look at how much you care before how much you know. They do look at the results to see what type of result you're having. It's not the type of business saying, don't do as I do, do as I say. That doesn't work. Lead by example. You can't lead from behind, right? Stop criticizing others. It's just not something that's going to pay you dividends. It doesn't add like and trust, which you absolutely need in your team. Let me tell you how vital this like and trust factor is. See, a lot of people, it takes a while for them to get going, right? So you're going out there, you launch people, right? And it takes time sometimes, to get going. You know what keeps them in? Okay, sometimes they have the love for the product, but they could use the product not being in. It's you. It's the loyalty towards you. So I always talk in forensic, when you launch somebody, you move in with them for 6 months, not literally, but every single day there's some type of communication going, build like and trust, the bonding. And you know what? When they're down, what keeps them in is the team, you, it's the environment. They like you and the team, and they're in. They're not making any money. They're in. I can tell you, you can keep people in for years if you've got that like and trust. If you don't have the like and trust, either they leave or they quit, or worse, they want to go join some other person's team in this company. So ego doesn't help. And sometimes you run into people like that, just avoid them. Don't become like them. Again, don't try to argue with them. Again, rich or right? How does that help? We want to use our cup of energy every day on positive stuff. IGA. Somebody loves to tell you how good they are. They're the best. Look at their history. 25 years, they did this, and that. There's an old saying, if you're a good eye doctor, it doesn't make you a good foot doctor. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you could. So just because someone made some money somewhere else doesn't mean they get this business. No, if they understand MLM, they should be able to apply some of those things, but who knows how they made their money, if they made their money. So my point to you is that it's like and trust that matters. It's like and trust that matters. Income doesn't matter. People will stay with you not because you're making a check. I mean, it's nice to inspire people. It's great, but it doesn't. If you're not making a check,
People will stay with you because you got like and trust with them. They know you care. You got that culture of love and care. No ego, inspiration, training, teaching, family environment. Here's another thing I always tell to distributors. Here's the advice. Never become friends with the distributors. You could be family, but don't become friends. There's a big difference. When you're friends with someone, they don't respect you anymore. They cross every boundaries. You know how friends are. Nobody respects. They're just friends, right? Goof around. But you all have families, but you respect families, you know, because you don't cross the line with family. You love them, but there is a boundary there. There's respect there. But with friends, So never become friends with your team. Be a family. Family upholds respect. Friendship, not always. That's number 6. Well, here's another thing too. We'll talk about ego. Sometimes I see people make money. They even put too much of an attitude and ego for the candidates, for the customers. I don't know, how does that help? So, people don't care how much you earn unless they know that you care about them. Don't put attitude. So there are a lot of time, I've seen the last 30 years, people say, Ramin, I used to sponsor a lot of people. I can't sponsor anymore. And I have a big check. They've made millions and they just can't sponsor anymore. They don't know why. I know why. 2 problems. One of them is they got too much information. So meet somebody, they put all the information out. Secondly, they're not eager to get the person on the team anymore. It's like they have an attitude that look at my history, look at my background, look at my check. So you should join me just because. Nobody joins that. If it's the opposite, the bigger the gap between you and the candidate, the less of a chance they're going to get in. So even if you're making a lot of money, you want to shrink that gap by not really talk so much about that. So they know that, okay, you know what? More on the same platform. If you're too far from them, then there's no commonality there. And so I could see why Renee and Reza can do this, but I'm not like them. They make so much money. So it's important. Don't show any ego. Can you imagine Coca-Cola? Look how big is Coca-Cola, right? One of the world's largest. They say salespeople, they go knock on every single corner store, every single country in the world. They're going after their business. They're not putting ego on people. They're out there going after the business. We want you, because if they don't, they know Pepsi will get it. So we got large corporations that are going after aggressively, going after the customers. Yet some MLMers, just because they made some money, all of a sudden, because of the rank or the title or whatever, somehow they need to be high and mighty. That doesn't work in MLM. MLM is a people's business, so that does not work in MLM. Of course, these people never do well in MLM. Interesting, the people who did well once forgot how they got there. They evolved in the wrong way. They stopped doing the things that actually worked to get them there. Now they've become this egotistical person that, you can't be that way. If people don't feel wanted. Mary Kay Ash, what a beautiful company she built, Mary Kay. And she wrote in the book, and then I loved it. She says, everybody to me wears a sign that says, make me feel important. Multi-billion-dollar corporation. How could you be that way? So don't put egos with your candidates. I mean, that doesn't work. All right, you know what? I think we're at 9:48. Maybe we can do one more. Okay, busy versus IG8. Time and energy block. I guess we talked about that, right? I hear people constantly say, oh, I'm so busy, I'm doing, okay, show me your calendar. What do you do? I put 15 hours in this business. Really? Show me a calendar. Look, not only they embellish and exaggerate, put that aside for a minute. But the time they put in, what are you doing? Is it IGA or is it just busy? What are you doing? If it's IGA, you're getting results. By the way, leaders, it doesn't help when you tell your people that you put in 12, 14-hour days. First of all, you're not. I've done this for 30 years. You know, and I can tell you, 5 multi-million-dollar businesses, you know, yeah, I had some days I put 12, 14 hours between all my meetings and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, really my IGA time was maybe an hour and a half a day. And then I was doing some conference calls and some trainings and maybe meetings. But at the end of the day, most days like 3, 4, 5 hours, you know, maybe some days, yeah, you got a marathon, 12, 14 hours. But going telling people if you're full-time and you're doing 14, 15 hours, that doesn't help. That just tells everybody, well, I don't have 15 hours, so I guess I can't do this business. So don't embellish that. It's not a good thing. You know, the thing about MLM is the perfect part-time platform. If people think they need to do 15 hours a day to be successful like you, then they have no shot. The fact of the matter is, you only need 10, 12, 15 hours a week to do this business. 10, 12, 15, 20 hours, not maximum. That's all you need, you know, 5, 10, 12 hours, 15, in that area. That's between all your conference calls and meetings. And really that's all you need to do this effectively part-time. So stop telling people you're putting 14-hour days, because you're not, first of all. Nobody does that. Just because once in a while we do something, you know, yeah, we have a marathon day or weekend, but don't go telling people that, because first of all, if you're doing that, then you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. So be very careful how the expectation you put out there, because people are already looking for ways to say that they can't do this business, because we're always looking for excuses anyways, right? Don't give them more excuses. You know, you don't need 15-hour days to do this business. You need maybe 15 hours a week to do this business, but you don't need 15-hour days to do this business. I just want to say that. All right, number 9. One of the big mistakes is our distributors do, and it's not just new people, because a lot, of course, new people, but even the older people, they should know better. They don't take the time to understand their business. They don't read the comp plan. They don't read the policies and procedures. They don't read the warranties. They've been in business 5 years. They're still asking the most basic elementary questions they should have known 5 years ago about warranties, about policies and procedures, and all that stuff. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you went to go McDonald's franchise, it's a $2 million franchise. Do you think you read the agreement? Do you think you understand? You make sure you understand the policies and procedures? How you call a lawyer to read it for you? And you come in this business and, oh, well, I didn't know, as if ignorance is an excuse. When you say you didn't know, not only you look bad, your upline looks bad, and their upline looks bad, and it goes whoop, right up to the chain. So take the time. You know, the foundation of this is that respect, right? If you don't respect your business, then how is it going to respect you? How is it going to pay you back? If you don't respect your business, if you don't respect it to take a couple of hours to read your policy and procedures and your warranties, you're selling products, you don't know what the warranties are. Like, how do you go in a business? If you open up a clothing store, you start dealing with factories, the first question you ask, what's the warranties? If there is any, right? You need these policies. So yet you come in this business, you don't do any of that. So you don't respect the business, so you want the business to make you a millionaire. So in your trainings with your team, I don't care if your team is one person, part of the training, well, one day we're going to do the policy and procedures. And you don't have to understand everything. There's a lot of stuff in there really you're never going to use, right? But there are some important things you need to know. The warranties, you understand the warranties, you sell the products. You definitely should understand how the warranties work. The compensation plan. Now, somebody says, oh, well, I didn't know about the smart buy or the qualification or the car qualification or MGR. We get this every month. Oh, I didn't know about MGRS. I was so close. Like, how do you not know? You know, you don't know because the upline didn't establish a culture of understanding your business. You wouldn't do that with any other business. You would not do that with any other business. If you got into any other business, the very first thing you would do, read the policy and procedures, understand the pay plan. You'll take the time to make sure you understand all of it. yet you didn't do it for this business. What does that say about you and your commitment and respect towards your business? And yet you wanted to make you $4 million a year. Common sense, isn't it? Now you know why some people go make millions. They just know the basic things and apply the basic things. You know the basic things, you just don't apply it. Somehow MLM is different than other businesses. The things that I'm talking about, I wouldn't have to tell you if it was another type of business. You would do it automatically. Yet when it comes to this business, you neglected to do it. By the way, when I talk to you, this is a locker room talk. My training's a locker room talk. Maybe some of you guys are already doing this stuff, but I'm not there to cherry pick who's doing, who's not doing it. We address everybody, right? Including myself. Say, we're talking, we're teaching as if we're brand new, we know nothing, and we're gonna cover everything. So if you're doing all this stuff, good for you. There's some of you guys do it. Fantastic. But I'm not here to cater to, we just share all the information. Some may apply to you, some may not apply to you, but the information needs to get out. Okay, so I think we're sitting at number 8. Yeah, number 9. That's good. Number 9. So I think what we'll do, Efra, we'll open the lines and let people share. Okay, tell me what inspired you. Either write it in the chat group or put your hand up. Tell me what you got out of this call. I want to know, what was your light bulb moment? Let's go.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Ramin. That is phenomenal. If I can just share mine, and it's the one that you actually made us all write it, is the ego, because it's so easy to catch that ego as you go up the ranks, as you build a team. So I'm now looking back and going, oh my God, is my ego in check? So thank you for reminding us on that.
Awesome.
Okay, so we have Ronan that has his hand up. So I'm gonna unmute Ronan here.
Let's do it.
Ronan, welcome to the call.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
That is wonderful. This has been such an incredible call. And I think that, there is so many different points that I can touch on, but for me, it's all about even stuff that we know, to listen to Ramin, bring it up to the forefront of our mind is so important, because the things we know, we can easily forget and take opposite action. So the biggest thing for me was actually, do not make your downlines become your friends. Family, brothers, sisters, yes, but not friends. It has been always a challenge for me. I've always never really knew how to cross that, like to make that line. And I think that has been one of the biggest tips of the call today, to remind myself that we need to do that. Of course, the ego topic is affecting every one of us. I think that anyone that sits and listens to this call and says, nah, that's not me, they're missing it. They're not really getting it, because we all have ego. And sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that to own leadership, to actually become a stronger leader, we need our ego to lead the way and show people we are strong and that we believe in ourselves. And I think that is the biggest mistake we can make. I truly owe it to Forensic and to you, Ramin, to truly adopt the concept of literally, truly becoming a servant leader, someone that is always willing to do more than anybody else. Always come to any event and actually put the chairs out yourself. Always be in front of everybody. Come to every meeting before everybody else. Never mind what your rank is. Never mind how important you think you are. Just understand people will follow you because they know that you are willing to do more than them. And yeah, I love to be reminded of those things, because after 31 years, we can still make those very simple mistakes and not understand why our networks do not stabilize and grow in a rate that you don't have to bring people, destroy them with your ego, and then you have to bring more people. So even if you're the best recruiter in the world, always remember that ego will demolish everything that you build. Doesn't make a difference how good you are, how skillful you are. And I truly want to honor you for that, Ramin.
You know why, Ronan? You know why, Ronan? Because we're not in a business of skill. We're in a business of like and trust. We're in a business of inspiring people. You don't need to be supreme middle commander of anything to be a star in MLM. As long as you know, if you have real ways with your positivity, with your skill, with your knowledge, with your like and trust, if you can inspire people, then you're going to do well in this business. You'll be a star. You'll be a rock star here. That's why having ego and throwing at people, well, that doesn't build any like and trust, doesn't inspire anybody. Your business is dead on arrival.
Of course, totally agree. And as I said, I agree from experience, not just from talking. I've had massive egos through the years in this industry. I even had massive ego when I came to GWT originally. And I knew that every time that I used to clash with corporate or clash with staff or clash with my people, today when I look back, it is all my ego. It wasn't anything else, because when my ego was down and I became humble, I know that even my relationship with you, Ramin, has become very, very different. And truly, we acquire much more respect and love from the people we work with when we humble ourselves. So yeah, I totally agree. No stronger and more important message than the one you gave today. Thank you.
Good stuff. All right, anyone else want to share?
Yeah, if there's anyone else, raise your hand up. We're right at 10 o'clock here. Meanwhile, I'm going to read some of the chat here. It is blowing up with so many people sharing their aha moments here. So we have, don't let your ego take over, maybe says. We have Berlin, Iman, she's saying making friends instead of partners. I have come across partners always complaining about not making money while doing nothing to make money.
That's normal. I think that was number 2. It said the audacity of refusing to evolve, yet they want to succeed. So that was number 2 mistake that we talked about last session.
Exactly. And we have someone saying making friends with downlines. I actually saw that and quickly turned it into family and business. Okay. And someone's talking about Ronan, why it's Ronan is family, like our father helping us. I agree with that. I work with Ronan on a daily basis, and I feel like he's a brother of mine. Brother I never had. We have someone saying here, Lucy, Korea, I loved how to handle negativity, ego effects, investing in my business and not making partners my friends. My goodness, everything was extremely relevant. Okay, and again, we have Iman saying knowledge of policy and procedures are a must with any company, as it is with Opulence Global. You are rich or right. I love this so much.
Okay, 2 things, right? You're either rich or right. Decide which one you want to be, right and broke, or rich and, just give away some of this argument. Second thing is, how does that help? The 4-word question. Before you, boom, how does that help? And if there's no answer to that, it doesn't help, then so stop.
Okay, we have one person here that has their hand up. I don't see the name. It's Galaxy. Okay.
Galaxy, pretty cool name. I got one too.
Galaxy J2 Prom, can you hear me?
Yes, Sir Ramin, this is Gerson in the Philippines, here in Mindanao.
Team Philippines, hey! Good stuff.
Yeah, I really appreciate the inputs that you have given to me this morning, especially that success is not measured with money. Leadership is not measured with how much you earn, but it's more on like and trust. So that's a very, very intelligent words that I get from you. So thank you, Sir Ramin.
Thank you for sharing. Philippines is on. It's morning over there. I think about 7, 8 in the morning. Good stuff. I'd like to hear more from people from around the world, Africa, Singapore, Philippines, Caribbean. It's good to get the global too. I know Israel, that's Ronan from Israel. It's awesome to hear.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have Ronan Reza here in Ottawa saying, this is why it's so important to be on these webinars. Love it.
Thank you.
And we have Opal's mom here saying thank you. Okay. All right. So this is awesome. I think we're at the top of the hour. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And of course, mainly I want to thank the Forensic Networker himself. I wanted to put you on the spot here, Ramin, tonight. I had a few questions for you. Maybe I can put one in based on everything you talked about. Say that I'm a brand new person. What is one advice you can give me tonight as the Forensic Networker, taking you back 30 years ago when you joined our industry?
Well, if I have to, just one thing, one advice? Make a promise. It always starts with the same thing, promise list. Start, without a promise list, nothing else happens. If you don't have a promise list, then there is no action to be taken. There's nothing to learn, right? So when you put promise list, the next question is, okay, well, damn, that's a big list. Well, how do I do that? That leads into part number 2, getting the information of how to do that. Of course, that becomes a whole training on that. So if I tell you one thing, work on your promise list. That's your GPS to where you want to go. Without your promise list, you kind of wonder. You're wandering generality, as Zig Ziglar puts it. With your promise list, you become a meaningful specific. So work on your promise list.
Amazing. Thank you. Because I have so many new partners joining every day. I know I have some of them on as well. So I always wanted to ask you as the Forensic Networker one, advice. So thank you for that, Ramin. All right. So we are at the top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank all of you for joining us for another phenomenal night. I think I ran out of notes here. I have papers and papers and papers of notes, and I'm going to go back and review them daily. I want to thank you again, Ramin, for taking your time week after week, despite how busy you are. I know you just got in from Ottawa, it shows your commitment. If you can commit to us that 1 hour, imagine what we need to do to get to your level one day. So I want to thank you for that. And of course, thank you to everybody. We have Majid saying thank you, Ifra and Ramin. Absolutely, Iman. Thank you to all of you. And I want to remind you, I have a beautiful lady behind me.
Hey, Mom. Super Mom is on.
Yes, I have the whole team. Everybody's here listening in as well.
Love you too.
Yes.
All right, stay forensic team.
Exactly. Just want to remind all of you for next call. It will be this Saturday from 10 to 12 p.m. with none other than Daniela, our corporate trainer and sales development manager. And again, on Sunday, we have the opportunity call from 8 to 9 p.m. And on Monday, we have the product crossfire. And of course, on Tuesday, we are back right here with the Forensic Networker. Other than that, I want to say thank you and a good night, good morning, and good evening to all of you.
Good night, all. Stay forensic.
Stay forensic, everybody.